I was given a couple of weeks ago Maria Shriver's YouTube channel. She's really acting like she wants to communicate with people other than the wealthy, insane group that she hangs with. But she's not interested in any information. She's still interested in pushing out more and more books. And when we look at our global experience and wonder why it's all falling apart, if you want to look at the causes, kind of look at who inspires you. Now, Maria Shriver has written a ton of books, and now she's going to get the sympathy of the world because poor old Arnold's cheating on her. And yet, her father cheated on her mother. Her mother was a woman that says, I'm a woman you should cheat on. And they both raised their kids to either, if they're males, that family, the Kennedy family, has cheated or has taught all of the boys how to be cheaters. Traits are kind of important when you get into politics because it's not like they tell you who they are. If they're cheaters, guess what? They're going to cheat in politics, they're going to cheat in the law, they're going to cheat in business because they're cheaters. And they've got women there that say, we love your cheating because your cheating gets us lots and lots of money. And when I get lots and lots of money, people respect me and they'll read my books. So I'm seeing a hell of a lot of insanity with this Maria Shriver. It's like she's playing poor little victim, and not like I wasn't one. I'll see her walk so friggin' perfectly, I see myself. Unfortunately, I wasn't the kind that went after the money like her. She seems to be in love with money. Money and stuff is the only thing that makes her happy, and she thinks that's what happiness is. So she's writing a whole pile of books and starting a whole pile of nonprofits just to get you to get her insanity. It's whatever her parents taught her is what she's trying to teach to the rest of the world. And then you want to know why you're going insane? Look at who inspires you. I'm not inspired by a woman that has a man that cheats on her. She's a woman that says, hey, be a victim. So anything she writes, she's going to teach you, without a doubt, her way of being a victim. And she can't see that yet, and she's not receptive to it. She, it is like that ADD thing, failure to communicate. So I've gone through some of her posts just to see where her insanity is, and like she's got a blog going on. Obama is like, really giving some praise to this girl that started a homeless shelter. And then they got the whole sad story that this girl was a refugee, same old story of poverty. Nobody wants to get rid of the causes that created the poverty. No, let's put band-aids and start a whole pile of shelters because there's a whole pile of people that are going to be homeless. And who's the guy that made everybody homeless? Look no further than the president who's given her the reward. We will reward people who put band-aids on problems and not towards anybody that's solving any kind of solution. And then she's got a whole pile of posts on, what did your father teach you? Well, Maria, your father taught you how to be a victim. And you play that victim role rather well. Be very grateful for your father for that lesson. How are you enjoying it? And can you see you teaching your kids how to be exactly like you? And then she's got Alzheimer's. Well, the whole family is riddled with a whole pile of illnesses and disabilities. And so what do people do when they create a problem? They start a nonprofit. And nonprofits, as I've sort of said before, I've had this little observation that these big wealthy people cause poverty. They cause the hardship on the planet, and then to cause more problems, they want to look like heroes for causing the problem. So they start these non-effective nonprofits Nonprofits are a way to get other people to work for nothing. Maria Shriver doesn't work for nothing. She gets paid the big bucks, but she only gets paid the big bucks by getting other people to work for nothing. It's the new age slavery game that's going on. There's always a big CEO that's profiting off of your labor of doing nothing. And not, I mean, a homeless shelter, come on. What the hell does a homeless shelter do? It's not solving any problems. It's just a place to stay for a very short period of time, and it's not really an enjoyable life experience. I'd like to also state again on this video that I've offered to even volunteer in a women's shelter since I was there before, and I know I wasn't told the truth, but under the condition that I told women the truth. I was specifically told by the women's shelter in my area, if I told women the truth, they would lose all their funding. Who are the ones that fund organizations like this? People like Maria Shriver, who, if you don't do as they say, they won't fund you. Or if you post on their things, their blogs, they block you because they don't like hearing the truth. They don't want to see their own friggin' insanity yet. So Alzheimer's is definitely an illness that is socially created. Their social environment, their family environment is directly creating the Alzheimer's disease. They got some people that are willing, like they'll do anything to forget the experience. And that's basically what Alzheimer's is. I've watched it. I've seen my mother create her own behaviors. I've seen the family dynamics create that behavior. My mother was, and still is, perfectly normal if you're talking about what she wants you to talk about. But if you can't even be at one with her, it's sort of like being a horse whisperer. You got to feel the person you're talking to. You got to put yourself in their shoes. You got to have some understanding. Why are you behaving the way you are behaving? When you can do that, then you're in one with them, and then you can communicate with them because they kind of like talking to somebody that wants to talk about the things they want to talk about. If you don't, their brain has literally shut off. That's what my mother now has always wanted to be happy. So now she's got Alzheimer's and she's stuck on happy. I've seen a lot of people that have memory problems. And if you look at the causes, what was the event that went on just prior to you developing that brain injury that has you forgetting or has your memory not working? All the time there was something that they wanted to forget and they were willing to die to forget it. It's you just have to know the questions to ask to see what the causes are within each family or within each disease, and you'll see the causes. Maria Shriver also has a whole pile of disabled people in her family, and she has one blog on there that's saying it's not socially acceptable to use the word retarded. Guess what? It's not socially acceptable to call anybody disabled when they are perfectly able to live out their life purpose. But somebody that's looking through the eyes of everybody's wrong but me, when you see something that isn't like you will call them disabled. The person that's disabled would be Maria Shriver. She's disabled in seeing the ability of those that have disabilities. I, for one, am on a disability. Am I disabled? Hell no. Can I do what other people want me to do? Hell no. Can I do what I want to do? What my passion is? What I'm excellent at? Hell yes. But my body has created this disability because when I say, don't want to be that slave, don't want to, harm other people, you don't want to listen to me, so guess what? My body will create the experience because you only tend to listen to disabilities. So my body will stop functioning in areas that are not serving my purpose. So that's why my arms aren't working, because I ain't going to be a slave to nobody using my arms anymore. I know damn well how harmful that is doing repetitive work. And you have no clue how much repetitive work is going on this planet right now. When I go out, because I want to work, and find something to do in the current job market, there's very little I can do because it's all repetitive work. Nobody is interested in creating a experience based on your health. What is healthy for a worker? That's why you got workers' compensation, which in Canada is non existent. We pay for it, we have organizations, but where are they? You can't get on them because I've been disabled from working in a factory. I've been to the doctors. You have to get doctors to actually fill out forms. Doctors don't like filling out forms, so if they don't fill out forms, you can't get your um, pay for being injured, which is what was set up in the first place. That's another huge issue. Is if you know you have a workers' compensation organization, that's kind of a sign that says employers are not providing safe work environments. So you shouldn't pay anybody that has been injured at work. You should just take all of the money away from the corporation. One injury, corporation lose all their money. The ownership of the company goes to the person that was injured. Oh, would that maybe stop them from injuring employees if they lost everything? If they made an employee lose everything, do you think that maybe an employer will stop doing harm to other people if they got everything taken away from them? But we'll never see that because these CEOs have more money than you, so that means they can pay for the $500 an attorney while you got the flunky that barely passed school and is now representing you and doesn't even remember your name or how to read a file, and that's your representing. So they'll say that you're well represented in court just because somebody passed a test, but qualification wise, are they able to represent you? Hell no. So that's why the rich guys always win. The rich guys are totally insane. They basically, who do they invest in? Where do colleges and universities get their money from? The wealthy people. Where do they get their course design? From the wealthy people who need laborers. So, if you want to learn how to be disabled and mentally retarded, why don't you read some of Maria Shriver's books? She will label you. If you are not as insane as her, she will label you until you are. And it's just time that you gotta start calling a spade and questioning, is what you're doing actually right? Is what you're doing destroying your family and your children? It's so painful to watch because without a doubt, if she has not healed herself, she's teaching her own kids how to be abusers. She's teaching her boys how to cheat, and she's teaching her girls how to have zero value for yourself. These are people that if they lost everything, they would not know how to function in the world. They would not know how to feed themselves. They wouldn't know how to survive. They need other people to do the work for them because they don't know how to do any work for themselves. They've been too busy trying to manipulate everybody to either do for them or be like them. It's an insane game. But as soon as they're willing to receive information, these are very, very powerful people. When they get it, they'll be writing books about it. And they'll shift the whole freaking planet, because that's what they do. They're searching for answers. They just got to be able to receive the answers they're searching for. And when they do, that's all we need is the very few at the top to get it. And when they get it, they'll start writing out books to all the people that are respecting them. And then we'll change our planet. But nothing's going to change until these people either see the change on the top or us on the bottom have to see the change. The problem with that is you have to get more people on the bottom to recognize the real big picture, or you only have to get a few on the top. So it's like which one is going to be easier? How can you communicate with rich people that don't want to communicate, or how do you communicate with billions of people that can't communicate either? It's an insane game. Peace out.